Good morning. The death face is coming in. Quite liking it, you know. Cheekbones coming through. Not quite the full-on death face yet, but with these pretty savage changes, we are in the digging phase, the final dig of prep, I would say. There's not much body fat to come off now. There's really not. And I had a chat with Kieran over the weekend, checked in with him in person on Saturday. He said no changes, but I did turn around and say to him, I can push harder here. I've got good energy. I can dig. Let's do it. He turned around and said, okay, I hear what you're saying. Check in with me tomorrow and we'll go from there. So I checked in with him on Sunday, sent some shots over, fasted. He then turned around and made some pretty savage changes. To be honest, I was buzzing with those because I know with these changes, the final bits of body fat are gonna come off. So today, I'm gonna take you through I thought I had a bogey then. I'm gonna take you through a full day of eating on the new calories, which are a whopping 1,618 on a training day and 1,514 on a non-training day. So today's a Monday, training day. The other changes that he's made is steps have gone from 12 to 14K. Clen has been upped from 80 to 100 micrograms, and your Himbine 15 milligrams to 20 milligrams. We have well and truly dropped the hammer. Cardio stayed the same. That's still 2 30-minute sessions per week on rest days. So I'm not gonna waffle on for much longer. I'm gonna show you each and every meal. The first one I'm gonna make is cream of rice. Instead of batch cooking them at the start of the day, I'm gonna show you how I make each meal. The first one up, cream of rice, which has unfortunately been dropped. My beloved cream of rice. But it's got to come off at some point, isn't it? So that's the first one up. Stay tuned. Now then, cream of rice. I would class myself as a bit of a cream of rice connoisseur. I'm going to show you how to make it step by step. So firstly, you're obviously going to need your cream of rice. Today we're going with the lemon meringue pie flavour. This one is top tier, by the way. So I think the quantity we've got in this meal now is still a decent amount, to be fair, because carbs have been pulled out from other meals, which I'd prefer. So in this meal, there's 82 grams to be precise of cream of rice. When it comes to mixing your cream of rice, getting it in a big glass Pyrex bowl like this is the way forward. You can get these from Amazon for like 4 or 5 quid, I believe. 81.8 grams, it's that 0.2 that makes all the difference, people. So that in there, zero it off. I actually got these new scales that weigh out to the exact decimal point because I need to put 1.6 grams of pink salt in each meal so I can weigh it out precise. So next up, pink salt, like I said, 1.6 grams. When it comes to volumizing your cream of rice, something you can use, baking powder. 5 grams into here. And then what you're gonna need is a whisk. You wanna take your quantity of cream of rice and times it by 4.5. So we're gonna do 82 times 4.5 equals 396. And that's how much water you want to add. Now bear in mind, I'm trying to volumize this here. So if you want less volume, just add less water or take out the baking powder. Now when it comes to adding the water, you want to use hot water out of the tap, not boiling water because it makes it go a little bit clumpy. So I just let the hot water tap run for a bit. Obviously set the scales to 0. Lovely, a little bit over, but that's okay. Once you get it in the microwave, it will fluff up nicely. Obviously stir it with a whisk, get all the clumps out. And then you're gonna whack it in the microwave for 2 minutes. Now whilst that's getting ready, I'll get my dark chocolate out. So I've got 10 grams of dark chocolate in this meal. Bang on 10 grams, love to see it. Whilst that's going, I'll make my whey paste in a separate bowl. When it comes to doing whey paste, instead of mixing the whey in with the cream of rice, I like to do it in a separate bowl, just drizzle it on top as like a bit of a sauce. So the whey of choice today is the sweet and salted popcorn flavor. It sounds fucking weird, I know. It just works. It works, it really does. It's so good. Before I do that, microwave's just gone off. So take out your cream of rice, give it a stir. What you'll see is it's starting to slowly thicken up a little bit. Whack that back in for 1.5 minutes. As I was saying, whey into the bowl. So we've got 52 grams of whey going in. And then literally all you want to do with this is add a very, very small amount of water and just stir it with a spoon. And you just keep adding water until you get to a thick like paste. So I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll weigh it out just so you can see roughly how much water I put in. So I've set the scales to 0, cold water this time. So that's about 60 ml of water. You'll kind of see that it's going to like a thick, creamy consistency. And that's about perfect consistency right there. What I'll do now is I'll just whack this in the fridge. And then about half an hour before I have it, I'll chuck it in the freezer, which hardens it up a little bit. And then when you take it out, because it's gone hard, you can add in a little bit more water so you get more volume out of it again. So cream of rice out again, give it another stir. As you can see,
it's gone to a very thick consistency. So from here, I add a little bit more cold water. Again, give it a bit more volume and just soften it up a touch. So literally just a small amount of water into the bowl. Give it a good stir with a whisk. A little bit more water. And that is about perfect consistency right there. Now I could obviously add more water to this, but the only thing that does, it just waters down the flavour a little bit. So it's about finding that correct balance, you know. Next, what you're gonna do is you get a little teaspoon and just scrape the sides down. That bit's key. And then just flatten off the surface so it's obviously nice and flat on top, using the back of the spoon. So you should be left with something like that. You can see I've scraped down all the sides and it's lovely and flat on top. And now you're ready to load the dark chocolate. All I'm gonna do is take these little bits and place them on top, like so. And now from here, take a dishcloth and just chuck it on top like that. And what that's gonna do is just melt the dark chocolate on top. It obviously traps the heat in there a little bit. Melts the dark chocolate, you leave it for about 2 minutes, and then you take the back of the spoon and just paste the dark chocolate around the top. And then once you leave it on the side, put it in the fridge, it goes to like a nice hard layer on top, and it's fucking unreal. Like, I used to mix the cream of rice in with, sorry, the dark chocolate in with the cream of rice, but then you don't get like the full flavour of the cream of rice, so it's quite nice having 2 separate flavours there. So this whey paste will go in the fridge for later as well. All right, now the dark chocolate has melted on top. All I'm gonna do is use the back of the spoon. Let's get you up closer, eh? So literally use the back of the spoon and just paste the dark chocolate around into a little circle. And then just scrape the rest off the spoon. And there you have it. Your little dark chocolate circle. Obviously 10 grams doesn't really go a long way, but you know, you could see that if you had enough, you'd be able to paste it all the way around and it would be a little bit better, but we're down to poverty calories now, so we've got to make do with what we've got. And then what I'll do is just leave that on the side, and once it's cooled down a little bit, I'll chuck it in the fridge. And then about half an hour before I have it, I put it in the freezer and then take it out with the whey paste, frozen fruit on top, whey paste on that, and then some like low calorie caramel sauce. So I'll show you that a bit later. But now I'm off to the gym, do some fasted steps, as well as stretching and vacuum practice. So I'll see you back here for the finale of the cream of rice. The moment has arrived, what you've all been waiting for, the big reveal of the elegant, new word. I was gonna say elegant, that's the one I'm looking for, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna say prep brain, but yeah, whatever. This delightful creation has been sitting in the freezer now for the past half an hour, as well as the whey paste in the freezer, also for the same amount of time. Now from here, all I'm gonna do is, because the whey paste has gone a bit hard, like I said earlier, I can add a bit more water to volumize it a bit more, so there's more paste to spread around. So a little bit more water in this. Now in terms of the frozen fruit I'm going for, we've got 40 grams of raspberries, 60 grams of frozen cherries. What I like to do with my raspberries is before I open the bag, I fucking smash the shit out of it on the side to break them all up. So it goes to like small clumps. So you're getting like more raspberry in each mouthful, if that makes sense. And then obviously the cherries on top, because cherries are the goat. But I feel like I might have a bit of a digestion issue with cherries, so lower quantities are fine. So I've thrown in some frozen raspberries alongside it, and although I would prefer blueberries, they as well just don't sit well with me. So 40 grams of raspberries going on top, in with the cherries, and as you can see, this paste is looking delightful. So then from here, we've got the paste, and we're literally just gonna layer that on top of the rest. I mean, if that doesn't make you wet, I don't really know what will. Of course, you've got to lick that bowl clean. And then the finishing touches, this salted caramel, low calorie sauce, has got 3 calories per 15 gram portion. So literally, I do 15 grams of this, which is, like I said, 3 calories. Perfect. And then top it off with a little bit of ground cinnamon. Look at that beauty. It's the little things in life that make you happy, innit? Especially during prep. I'm gonna sit down and enjoy this bad boy. It would be rude not to do a bit of a taste test, so here we have it once again. We're gonna go with a frozen cherry on there, some raspberries, bit of dark chocolate. Cheers. Wow, that's all I have to say. Wow. I've said it once and I'll say it again. This is an absolute dieting hack. So fucking good. The calories for this meal will be up on the screen just here. But this is meal one, the pre-workout meal. I'll probably look to train in about 2 hours and then show you the post. See you in a bit. Just rocked up at the gym for a pull session at Gaines Bedford. I trained here last week. I usually do this session at the coach, but I'm quite enjoying the variety of kit they've got available here. Like I said, they've got some nice prime pieces, so I'll be running this again, aiming to match or progress numbers from last week. I'm not going to film the session, but I'll get some posing clips afterwards, so you get to see me and my little skin peas once again. Oh, I do treat you lot, don't I? So I thought I'd just run you guys through my post-workout shots here and just talk you through kind of what I look for condition. You can kind of see that my front is basically ready. I store most of my body fat on my back. You can see that although my back is coming in, there's still some fat there. Like I haven't quite got that Christmas tree yet coming through the lower back. But then when I hit these side shots and I actually flex my glutes, which you'll see there, that's when you can see the glute lines coming in. And yeah, my legs are probably my leanest body part. Like they were in shape at like 12 weeks out. The vacuum practice is obviously coming in handy because I can pull those a lot deeper now as well. Something that I always try and focus on is tilting my poses down a little bit because the judges are sitting below you almost. So you've got to kind of like tilt down to show them the physique. I really struggle with the side poses, hitting those properly, so that's something I'm really practicing and focusing on. But you can see nice detail through the glutes, hamstrings. For some reason, my left side hamstring doesn't have as much detail as my right. I'm not quite sure what that is. It might just be some general tightness there, but you can see glute lines through the back now. Back detail is definitely coming through. Back lat spread looking quite nice here as well. And then we transition into the ab and thigh. See the chest striations. Pull the vacuum on this. This is quite a nice shot for me, I must say. This is the one that shows a lot of detail through the upper body, especially the chest. You can see the ripples in the chest there. Considering I'm very flat here, I'm very happy with these shots. You can see huge improvements have been made throughout this prep. And then we hit both of the classic shots here to finish up. And then finally, one I've been practicing, a new one is called the mantis pose. Still needs some work, but overall, very happy with these. Back from the gym, in for meal 2, and I need to cook up some rice. So I've been using this jasmine rice. You can buy big bags of this, definitely better than getting the microwave style rice. It's more expensive and you're just gonna save yourself a lot of money buying a big bag like this. And then a rice cooker, absolute game changer. I've seen a lot of people use microwave rice cookers actually, which I haven't tried myself, but they do look pretty good. So just making life easy for yourself and saving yourself money goes a long way, I think. So I'm gonna weigh out just 200 grams of raw weight rice, wash it, cook it, and I'll have 50 grams of it for a meal and then save the rest for other meals. So something you have to do when you're using a rice cooker is wash your rice, because I made the mistake when I first got this rice cooker of not doing that, and it just fluffs over, like it just, yeah, it goes to like a, I don't even know how to describe it. It just starts like bubbling over the side because there's still starch in the rice. So you have to wash your rice. Literally, I just put it in a sieve like this, let some hot water run through it and just mix it in with my hands to get the starch out. And once you've done that, back into the rice cooker thing. And then what I do is I take the quantity of cream of rice, which was 200, times it by 2 and add that much water. Perfect. The rice is on. Whilst that's cooking away, I will crack on with my veg. As you know, if you watched the last video, I'm doing peppers, courgette, aubergine, mushrooms, and then a third of an iceberg lettuce in my beef and chicken meals. Yeah, the benefit of getting veg in are vast. Like you get the micronutrient intake, you get the fiber, fills you up more. Can't stress how important it is to get in your veg. Plus, the benefits it has to your skin, like you just get all those micronutrients, and a lot of bodybuilders struggle with skin problems. So if you are struggling with your skin, assess your diet. Is there something that's not digesting well? Are you getting in enough veg? And just consider increasing your vegetable intake to be able to get those micronutrients in, which could improve your skin in general. Obviously, 1 cal spray, got to be saving those calories. Bear in mind though, it does fucking ruin your pans, but this one's quite old anyway, so I'm not really too fussed. So this is how the veg turns out. That concoction is fucking unreal. And then I've spoken about, oh shit, this seasoning as well, you can get from Amazon, Badia. Goes with absolutely everything. Also a staple for me, and something I keep consistent as well. Seasoning, sauces, salt, everything stays exactly the same. But yeah, that's nearly done. Rice is nearly done, and I'm a hungry boy. All right, rice is done. So after weighing out the cooked weight rice, I now know that there's 4 portions in here. So 200 grams of raw weight rice, the total amount. I literally take that, divide it by 4, and that's how much I'm having in each portion, which comes to 125 grams of cooked weight, which is why it's always better to weigh your rice and other ingredients that change when you cook them in terms of weight raw, because it's way more accurate. Okay, so literally gonna whack in 125 grams into this meal here, and then I always heat up my meals on the pan at the moment, just because again it tastes so much better than just blasting it in the microwave. So yeah, take your time with your food, people, enjoy it. To be fair, I say that, but in an off season I'm guilty of just kind of like getting it down and being quick, because there's a lot more food, I'm not as hungry, so it's just a case of eating for the purpose of eating the food. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people do that, and they slack with their veg intake as well, which is very naughty. This is nearly done. I'm gonna sit down, watch some YouTube, chill, and then get back to work. Seasoning is a choice as well. Reduced sugar, reduced salt. Oh, sorry, no added sugar, no added salt. Ketchup. This is the lowest calorie one, so I stock up on this, as well as Frank's Buffalo Wings hot sauce. This is fucking unreal. So 20 grams of this, 5 grams of this. You can get these from Amazon, by the way, the big ones. Save a bit more money on them as well. But yeah, this combo slaps. So here we have it. As you can see, quite a lot of volume in there with the veg, the lettuce and everything. The ingredients for the meal will be up on the screen, as well as the calories. Bear in mind that the calories you're seeing here doesn't include the veg. I'm not tracking veg at the moment. It's just remained consistent throughout basically the entire prep. So of course we're going to do a little taste test. Every time, banging. Next meal up, to be honest, I'm not even hungry. I'm still pretty full from that last meal, but because I push my meals back, you know, I can have them all in pretty quick succession. And when food focus is a little bit high, it's quite nice just to have more regular feedings. So this meal, very simple, 100 grams of egg whites, 1 egg, some kale, and I've run out of mushrooms, which I would usually use, so I'm just using a little bit of courgette instead. Before I whack the veg in, because I've got a new pan and I don't want to fuck it with the 1 cal spray, I use a little bit of olive oil, literally just a drop in there. Obviously I don't want the additional calories from all that oil, so all you do is grab a tissue after just kind of moving it around the pan a little bit, and then just wipe up the excess with the tissue. So you've greased the pan, but you've used barely any oil. Pro tip. This is the kale that I use as well. I splash out a little bit, go to M&S for this stuff. And this is Cavolo Nero Kale. I tried to pronounce that on the last video, but yeah, it wasn't happening. So I usually do, well, I do 50 grams of this, which is usually about 2 of these. Show you in a bit. And here we have it, people, the finished product. Wonderful. That's very good. I just got this new seasoning. It's like garlic and onion from Amazon, which has got no calories, no sodium, just a little bit of potassium in. So just sprinkled a bit of that on top and it fucking makes a big difference. So calories, ingredients and everything will be up on the screen. Once again, bear in mind that the veg isn't included in the calories here, but it stays I say it stays consistent, it's not today, has it? But, you know, the calorie difference between mushrooms and courgette is gonna be minimal, so that's fine. If I don't get shredded, you now know why. All right, next meal up. Same as the chicken and rice meal, except there's no rice and there's beef instead. 150 milligrams? 150 grams of beef. So that is all ready to go. So yeah, my last carb meal of the day is that chicken and rice meal. So I've only really got carbs now, pre and post workout. The eggs, obviously no carbs. This one, no carbs. The last one is yogurt. I've got some fruit in there, but I wouldn't really count those as carbs. You know, it's not anything too large on a carbohydrate front. So poor me, no carbs, but needed to get fucking shredded. All right. I actually fancy having a bit of teriyaki with this today. It's the same brand as that caramel sauce. This one again, 6 calories per 15 gram portion. So a bit of that on there. And then also 1.6 grams of the finest pink salt. There we have it, ladies and gents. Meal number 4. Ingredients, calories, as always, will be up on the screen. Cheers. Oh, you know what? That teriyaki sauce is actually so good. I got them from a supplement store in Bedford, but you can get them from a website called Fit Cookie. I think they're about £4 for 1 bottle, so check out Fit Cookie if you want to grab some of those low calorie sauces. Last meal of the day, getting prepared now. So final one is yogurt, whey, and frozen berries. The granola and almond butter has been taken out of this meal. The whey we're going with is the caramel biscuit from Perform. I've literally got an obsession with this at the moment. I've got about 4 tubs on the go. Honestly, it's bad. I like the variety, so leave me alone, all right? Now we're obviously gonna volumize this. So once you've added in the whey with the yogurt, stir it, and then just add in water, similar to the cream of rice. I'm gonna have this in about 45 minutes to an hour. I'll add it into the freezer just so it hardens up. It goes into a bit of an ice cream-like consistency. Turns out absolutely lovely. I'll show you once it's out of the freezer. So I've just pulled this out of the freezer. You can see it's kind of gone to a thicker consistency. It's kind of stuck around the edges a little bit, but when I add in the frozen fruit, it's really gonna thicken up nicely, really get to that like ice cream sort of consistency. Like I said, along with this, we've got 40 grams of raspberries, 60 grams of cherries, and then we top it off with a little bit of the old caramel sauce that was on the cream of rice. And that, ladies and gents, is the final meal of the day. Cheers. I've got such a sweet tooth, I can't lie. It's not quite the same without the granola and almond butter, but needs must. So that will wrap up this portion of the video. I've got my check-in with Kieran tomorrow, so I'm gonna extend it and just give you an update on what he says. I'm assuming there's not gonna be any changes made, but still, it'd be interesting to maybe get some clips of what he says in the check-in and go from there. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, people, it is the next day. Just had my check-in back from Kieran, and the photos I took this morning, definitely the sharpest I've ever looked. My back is really coming in now, and as I've said in the past, that's really the stubborn area for me. It's just taken a while to come off, but it's finally it's starting to get there. So changes. He's upped my cardio to 35 minutes on non-training days, so just literally an extra 5 minutes. Some changes to supplementation as well, and that is it. Final dig now, and then it will be about 2 weeks of pushing, I believe, and then we'll be at peak week, so things are gonna get exciting from here out. Jesus, that didn't sound healthy. Anyway, that'll wrap up the video. I hope you enjoyed the full day of eating and a bit of an update on the plan going forward. If you've got this far, fair play. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all the supportive stuff. If you've been enjoying the prep series up to this point, we're nearly there, people, we're nearly there. And I will catch you in the next one. See ya.